Hey guys, welcome back to this discussion on SQL Server. In today's session, I'm going to talk about how we can install SQL Server in our system. For this, what you have to go? You have to quickly go to the official website of SQL Server. In this website, you have to come down and we will see two options over here as Developer and Express Edition. Now the Developer Edition allows you all the features of SQL Server, but with the limitations that we cannot use it for a production purpose. But in the Express Edition, you will get all the features, but with the limitations of in terms of table and database size. Now what we will do, we'll click on this download now from the Developer Edition and we'll download the required files. And once we download it, we'll get a file where you can see the SQL Server SSEI dev. You click on this particular file, click on yes, and then we have to select the required option from the basic custom and download media. What I will do, I'll select the custom option, keep the options as it is over here and click on install. Now you can see that I've got a successful download option and there will be an installation center that will be popping up in your screen. From here, I have to select the installation option, click on the new SQL Server standalone installation, and we have to select the option over here in order to specify the free edition, which I will keep as it is as developer. Now we'll click on next. I have to accept the license terms and agreement, and then again we have to click on next, and the system will check for any updates in terms of the SQL Server setup file is available or not. Now over here we can see this particular setup file or installation center is checking for any new updates in terms of the SQL Server setup file. Now once it is done, it will show this particular message over here where you can ignore the warning sign for the Windows firewall and you can click on next. Now once we have selected the next option, you have to go and select the instance features from where we'll go for the database engine service. So I'll just check mark this particular option and we'll keep the other option as it is. Now I click on next and this particular installation setup will take us where you have to define the instance name. Now there are two options over here, the default and the name instance. So what I can do, I can go for the name instance and let me name this particular database as star, and you can click on this instance ID and you can see the same name has been updated over here. Now I click on next and I'll keep the options as it is over here for this particular server configuration screen, and again I click on next. In the database engine configuration, there are two authentication mode that we can see over here, the Windows authentication mode and the mixed mode. So what I will do, I'll select the mixed mode and let me supply a password for this. Now one important thing that we need to remember over here is this password is for this SA account. So you have to supply the SA account as a user ID and the password that I have given over here, any password that you supply for this particular SA account. And after we are done with the password credentials, we'll click on add current user to add this user under the specify SQL Server administrator where you can see my system name, and you can click on next, and then you have to click on install to start the installation process. So I'll click on install and you can see that all the required setup files are getting installed in your local system. Now once we are done with the installation, you will see a success message over here. Now you can click on close, and again from this particular installation wizard you have to select the third option, that is install SQL Server Management Tool. Now SQL Server Management Tool is a application that allows you to interact with the SQL Server. So it provides an interface through which you can query your request with the SQL Server. Now when you click on this particular option, you'll be redirected to the website of Microsoft where you'll get an option to download the SQL Server Management Studio. Now once you click on this link, you'll get a setup file where you can see this SSMS setup ENU. Now once you click on this particular setup file, you have to select the required options to install the SQL Server Management Studio in your system. Now you can see I've got the location over here, and now let's click on install to install the SQL Server Management Studio. Now you can see that we have installed the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio successfully in our system. So we can click on close and we can open the Microsoft SQL Server Studio right from the start option. Now you can see that I have initialized the SQL Server Management Studio application in my system, and then I have to select the required option. Now the moment you initialize the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, you will get an option over here So either you can log into the SQL Server with Windows authentication where you don't have to provide the required credentials, or you have to select the SQL Server authentication option. You have to select the server over here, going over here, and you have to click on database engine. You can see the server name over here, click on OK, and then you can come over here, select the SQL Server authentication, and you can see the SA account over here, and you have to supply the password that you have provided during the installation, and you click on connect. Now you can see the moment I click on connect, the SQL Server has initialized, where you can see the database name, and you can see all the database folders over here. You can see all the database folders, the security folders over here. Now, to write a query over the SQL Server Management Studio, you have to click on New Query, and there will be a page where you can happily implement all your queries that you want to get from the required tables in your server. So that was all for this particular session, where you know how to install the SQL Server, you know how to install the SQL Server Management Studio, and how we can initialize the SQL Server. So that was all for today. I hope you have enjoyed this particular session. Thank you.